Professor Kelly Bickle in the Math Department, and I want to provide some information about both calculus at Bucknell and specifically our ALEKS Prep for Calculus course that's required for students who are taking Math 201. All right, so in terms of calculus at Bucknell, we have a core calculus sequence of Math 201 Calculus 1, Math 202 Calculus 2, and Math 211 Calculus 3. For students taking the courses in our calculus sequence, the default placement is into Math 201. And those are the students that are going to need to be taking our ALEKS Prep for Calculus course. I'm going to give a little bit more detail about this Prep for Calc course later, but for now I want to mention that if you've taken advanced placement or IB exams, you might have scores that give you credit for courses early in our calculus sequence, and then you will be placed later on in our calc sequence. Similarly, if you've taken a college course at another institution, then you might again get placed later in our calculus sequence. In both situations, you need to make sure to have this information conveyed to Bucknell. So have your AP IB scores sent to Bucknell and have your transcript sent again to Bucknell so that we can determine your placement. I do want to mention that for kind of a small number of students, we also have a placement exam for moving from Math 201 to Math 202 Calculus 2. This is for students who have already taken a calculus course, did not have access to AP or IB exams, and have completed the ALEKS Prep for Calculus course. Now, this placement exam does not give credit for Math 201 Calculus 1. Instead, it simply allows a student to start in Calculus 2 instead, which then might require them to take an additional math course later on. All right, in this core calculus sequence, we use first day access for our textbook. What that means is that you don't buy the textbook ahead of time, you just get access to it digitally on the first day of class, and you'll be charged directly to your Bucknell account for the textbook. You can certainly opt out of this program and buy your textbook through a different vendor, but if you go through a different vendor, then you should be very careful to get a textbook that has the same ISBN as the one that we use. There are textbooks with the same name, edition, and authors that actually have different problems at the end of the sections. So to make sure that you have the correct problems for doing your homework is to check the ISBN. All right, now while most students will take courses in our core calculus sequence, for econ students and business analytics students, there is a choice of courses to fulfill the calculus requirement. You can of course take Calculus 1, the first course in our calculus sequence, but you can also take our Topics in Calculus course. So this is a course that covers selected calculus topics with an emphasis on business and economics applications. The key piece of information to note here is that our Math 192 course does not prepare students to move on in our calculus sequence, so it does not prepare students to take Calculus 2, and it does also not fulfill kind of the calculus content that allows you to take courses that have Calculus 1 as a prerequisite. And so if you're at all interested in taking additional mathematics courses while you're at Bucknell, you should take Calculus 1 Math 201 and not the Topics in Calculus course. Lastly, I want to mention that as you're starting kind of to take your first calculus class, you're probably going to have questions about the content, and you very well might want to work with your peers on some of the homework problems. So there are various resources and avenues where you can do this. Your professors will have drop-in hours several times a week where you can show up and ask questions and meet some of your classmates. The math department runs peer-led calculus hours almost every evening. And the Teaching and Learning Center has a variety of resources. They organize weekly study groups for specific courses, have one-on-one peer tutoring, and more general quantitative support hours. So what I recommend is when you come to Bucknell, start your calculus class, just explore some of these resources and figure out which ones work best for your learning style. Okay, so now I want to switch to details about our ALEKS Prep for Calculus course. So again, this is only for students who are going to be taking Calculus 1 Math 201. And so if you have AP scores or transfer credit that you think are going to cause you to be placed later in the calculus sequence, don't go ahead and sign up for the ALEKS course. This is really only for students who are taking Calculus 1 at Bucknell. So what is the ALEKS course? So this is basically an online prep course that provides practice and instruction in the 5 key pre-calculus topics that provide a lot of kind of the mathematical foundation for calculus. So these topics are going to show up over and over in your calculus course. Now, it's easy to forget material over the summer. High school courses also have, emphasis on different topics. And so it's very likely that as you're working through this course, there's going to be topics that you either need to refresh or you really kind of feel like you haven't seen before. So use this course as an opportunity to brush up on the things that you don't feel so comfortable with, fill in any gaps so that you can really put your best foot forward when you're starting Calculus 1 at Bucknell. Now, just to emphasize, this is not a placement exam. If you're taking the ALEKS Prep for Calculus course, you're already basically enrolled in Math 201. You're just getting a really strong pre-calc foundation so that you can be successful from day one. All right, so now let's look at some important ALEKS dates. So the course opens on July 24th. We have 6 weeks licenses with ALEKS, which means that unfortunately students cannot start the course early. We really recommend that you start the course by early August, so by August 6th. And that's because the course really takes, different students, very different amounts of time. And so if you start in early August, you've allowed yourself certainly enough time so that if you work at your own pace, you can complete it by the due date. Now, you might be in the situation right now where you don't know if you're taking Calculus 1 in the fall yet. That's okay. You'll get your schedule in early August. If Calculus 1 is on that schedule, that's when you should go ahead and sign up for the ALEKS Prep for Calculus course. You'll access the course by going to our ALEKS Moodle site. There's a button on that course where you can go to access ALEKS directly. You'll receive the email to get to the Moodle site with that link from our ALEKS coordinator, Professor Sharon Garthwaite. And then finally, the course closes on September 3rd, so you'll have to complete the course by that date. All right, let's talk about a few more details about ALEKS. When you start it, you're going to take an initial knowledge check. So you should allow 3 hours for this and set aside your calculator because this knowledge check is really just to determine what are the topics that you should review and what are the topics that you already know quite well. Now, don't be concerned if ALEKS identifies that you should review a lot of topics. That's exactly what we expect and why we ask folks to complete this course. After you complete the diagnostic, ALEKS is going to create an individualized course for you that has you work through the topics that it identified that you should have more practice with. And it's from working through those topics that you'll get your ALEKS grade. So your grade from ALEKS will come from the percentage of the topics that it's identified that you've learned by the close of the class on September 3rd. So just to reiterate, the earlier diagnostic does not affect your ALEKS grade. It's only what topics you've learned by the end of the course. And it's that ALEKS grade that will then become part of your Calculus 1 course grade. All right, well, we hope that you've completed most of ALEKS by the time that you get to campus. It's very possible that you're still finishing up some of the more challenging topics when you come for orientation. Because of that, we do have several drop-in ALEKS sessions where you can bring your laptop, work on the ALEKS program, and get some questions answered, as well as meet our Calculus 1 team. So those drop-in sessions are August 22nd and August 23rd, so that Thursday and Friday. And you'll get some email reminders about these sessions closer to their days. All right, so that wraps up what I wanted to share. If you have any questions about the ALEKS program, please contact our ALEKS coordinator, Professor Sharon Garthwaite. And if you have any more general questions about placement or calculus, please just shoot me an email. Thanks for watching.